to have a way to eat, but Cam couldn't be worried about the next mouth when his plate wasn't filled up. Growing up as the block's brown-skinned pretty boy, Cam had grown accustomed to getting what he wanted. All he had to do was flash his perfectly straight teeth and follow that with some smooth talking. Now things were different. He had to take what he wanted. Cam cleared his throat when he stepped into the shadows inside the tunnel. It was dim, but he could still clearly make out everything around him. Like the woman in the form-fitting pantsuit and Christian Louboutin heels, leaning against the cement wall, filing her nails. "You're late," she said, without looking up from what she was doing. "My apologies, Sadie," Cam said, addressing the head of the last Kings. "The change of location threw me off." "Don't worry about it. Do you have my money?" "Right here," he said, and tossed the bag to her feet. "No need to count it. It's all there." Sadie finished with her nails and placed the file inside of her Birkin crossbody bag. She glanced briskly down at the bag of money and didn't bother to check it. Instead, she stepped around it and walked toward Cam. He couldn't read the expression on her beautiful face, but still he held his ground. "Unlike you to travel alone," Cam said when she was directly in front of him. "I didn't think I needed an army to collect a payment," Sadie said, and the corners of her lips twitched. "Carry the bag to my car." Sadie stepped around him after her instruction and started toward the tunnel entrance. The click-clack of her heels echoed against the walls, and Cam clenched his jaw and fists. Knowing that was her last order to him, he kept his emotions in check and picked up the bag of money. He walked behind her, but not too closely. He stared at the back of her head and waited for the first bullet to strike her body. He held his breath as her right foot hit the sunlight, and then her left. In seconds, her body would be riddled with bullets, and her designer suit would be bloody. But when she was completely unshielded by the tunnel, nothing happened. Confused, Cam, too, stepped out of the tunnel and glanced around the construction site. His men had distinct instructions to fire upon sight, but it was quieter than when he had come. In fact, Cam glanced to where he'd left Felix standing next to the running car, but he was nowhere to be seen. He wasn't even in the driver's seat of the vehicle, and the car had been turned off. Cam's brow furrowed. He grabbed his phone from his pocket and dialed Dwayne's number. The phone rang and rang until the automated voicemail picked up. Where was he? And why hadn't he followed instructions? Cam looked up to see Sadie facing him with a smirk on her lips. As she stared, he saw a glimmer of pleasure flash across her face. "You might as well put that phone away. There's no point," she said. "I was supposed to walk out here and boom, off with my head, right?" "I don't know what you're talking about," Cam told her with a straight face. "You don't? Then let me enlighten you," she said. "Do you think that I would ever let you run any business or push any of my work without you being watched? Especially after you worked for Chiron when he slid into my city." "So you never trusted me then?" "Correction. I presented you with an opportunity to redeem yourself, and you've failed." The two of them stared into each other's eyes for a few seconds, his filled with thirst and hatred, and hers filled with amusement. In a swift motion, he reached for the Glock on his hip, but she didn't budge.